Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of DM Talks. I'm your host, Sarah DM, and this is a podcast that aims to promote well-being and assist healing, whether that be physically, mentally, or spiritually. Ultimately, we just want to be seen in our entirety, and this podcast hopes to show listeners how multifaceted they are. We're all the center of our own universe, so why don't we do more to better our own existence? Bida-boom, bida-boom. Hey, everyone. How are we all this week? I'm feeling a little bit tired. I was like, I'm feeling great, but no, I'm feeling a bit tired. But I know that this tiredness is only going to make me understand what I need to rest on and what I need to express. And I'm really, really excited because today I've going to have a guest who I actually met through a live show. And since then, I've kept in contact with him because I just was like, oh, this person's vibes. I want to get to know. We both attended Kelechi's live show and that was amazing. And yeah, they stood up, they spoke their tings, and I was like, I need this person on my episode. So without further ado, I'd like to welcome you to the virtual stage, Sydd the Aquarius.
Hey guys. Hi.
Hello. Thank you so much for joining us.
It's an absolute pleasure to be here, honestly. Absolute pleasure. Thank you for having me.
No, thank you. I feel like since I've followed you, I now just see you everywhere. Like, whether well, I think it's like, well, we spoke a little bit about it last in the minisode, but Twitter Spaces, tweets, just all of that stuff. Just because, like, I feel like, are you quite an active Twitter user?
I am since since Twitter Spaces came out, I'm like more on Twitter now. So yeah, I'm a bit more active on there. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate it because I mean, it's led to this, and like, I really want to, use social media for this, like connection, networking, like understanding people from different backgrounds, getting people's stories, you know? So like, I'm really grateful for you to be here today. How's your week been?
It's been a roller coaster. I was a bit ill, as you know, and then I got better. And also, like, I applied for a job last week on the Friday, and then the Tuesday, which is next working day, they just got back to me and was like, yeah, we'd like to interview you. So I'm like, so yeah, like the cost of living will not defeat me.
Honestly, I'm so happy for you. No, I'm so happy for you because the thing is, it's like, I mean, living in the UK is the ghetto, you know, and like these jobs are just help us get by. They really just help us get by. And like, it can be so deflating when you're constantly applying for these jobs and you don't hear anything back. Like I was telling my one of my like mentors at my work recently, I was like, I don't know if I have another cover letter in me. I don't think I have one up in me. So like when I hear people get jobs, I'm just like, I need to shower them because it's not just the fact that like they've gotten through to the next stage of the process, but like the determination that they've put on themselves to get there needs to be celebrated too. So I hope you're doing good to yourself.
Thank you. To be fair, like since I've started working in finance, I've been pretty good at getting interviews. I need to be a bit better at nailing them. So this like the last one I did, it was a very hard position. It was a very, very competitive role to get into, but I got it.
Amen.
And then, this is another competitive role, but I'm just going to put the same effort that I put in. Like, you know, there's a lot of people supporting me. Want to thank them. I've got a really good and supportive manager.
Amazing.
Got really good supportive, like even friends like within the organisation I work with. They've been so supportive. So like, big shout out to them as well.
Oh no, I love that because it honestly, like having like people that you can fall back onto makes it so much more like motivating, you know, like it's reassuring. You're able to like walk with so much faith because you've got your support literally next to you, you know?
Absolutely.
No.
Absolutely.
Well, with all this good news, let me take you to the first segment, and that is the Divine. The Divine is where we nominate a good thing. What are you going to nominate this week?
I'm going to nominate, and this is probably going to sound a bit odd, but I'll explain why. My houseplants. and just plants in general.
Yes.
Geez, I don't know where to start. Like I've got about 60 houseplants.
60?
Yeah, six. I've got just about 60. Yeah.
60.
There's quite a few on my desk. This is like a mini monstera.
Beautiful.
It's propagating in perlite at the moment. Somebody gave me a cutting. I also have a variegated string of pearls.
Oh my God. Wow.
I've got a peperomia, which is here.
Thank you for the. I feel like I'm in the best show and tell ever because I fucking love plants and like. Incredible. Sorry. Yeah. Carry on.
This is my pride and joy. One of my pride and joys. I've got this is a air plant, so they don't need roots or anything. You just spray them, you just mist them, and they just grow and grow and grow.
Incredible.
I've got 2 of those. I also have this one is taking a bit of a while to propagate. This is another monstera.
Gorgeous.
This is like an Adansoni.
I love the leaves.
Yeah, it's a variety of Adansoni. I cannot pronounce it for the life of me. It's quite a rare plant to have in the UK. I've also got, and if you are a plant lover, yes, I do have a variegated monstera. I'll probably show it to you later on in the episode. But one of those that like one leaf can cost you anywhere from like £60 to £135.
Wow!
And then you propagate that, and it grows into like an actual, like a real plant. They can sell for like hundreds all the way up into the thousands.
Wow.
So I'm looking after those, getting them enough light. In the background there, you'll see like I've got a monstera and a big monstera and a bird of paradise. It's something that, and the reason why I nominated them is because when I first moved into this house, like I bought an abandoned house. It was a bit like, got me down a bit, and doing the DIY, I didn't realize how expensive it was to like renovate a house.
I'm so sorry to interrupt. How old are you?
I'm 29 now.
Oh my God.
Thank you.
You're renovating a house. You're out here getting these jobs and you've got 60 plants.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I had
to stop you there because like I was just like, that is so well done. Thank you so done.
Much. Thank you. I appreciate it. It's taken, like, I can't lie. I am privileged to be in the position that I'm in. I'm not going to deny that. Like, if you're not a homeowner, it's hard. It is hard. And I am so privileged to be in the position that I'm in. So it's not like, oh, whatever you got out, I would never do that to anybody.
No, of course
it's bloody privilege. And I was lucky. Like I wouldn't say I'd had help, but because of the job that I'm in with finance, I managed to weasel my way and get a mortgage. So one of those on there. But the plants, when doing all the work, like there was days when I just got overwhelmed, didn't really want to get out of bed, here by myself. And I just thought the plants, I can't see them die because they're living things. I just care for them.
Yeah.
So it was like, they just give me a reason to get out of bed. How's this one doing? How's that one doing?
Yeah.
How's the propagation on this one doing? And what's happening there? And do you know what I mean? Like sometimes you get pests, sometimes you get things like root rot. They're like your babies. Like, they just give me a reason to get up. And they look so, I know when they like really grow and flourish and all those kind of things, I know the house is it's going to look amazing.
I'm just so happy for you. And it's hilarious that you like, I just love spirit because you could have chosen anything. You chose plants. I watered a plant literally this morning that I'd been neglecting, and I felt really bad because like all my other babies are like getting attention and this one wasn't. And like, literally, it's just at my windowsill now, and I'm just sharing love to it because I only got into plants fairly recently, like maybe over the past like year and a half or so. But since then, it's been such a journey, and I've been able to learn so much about environment, space, like even grow, like so much. Can't say the plants' names for the life of me, but I've learned so much in a short amount of time. So like, even where did I go? I went to this place called The Range,
Okay.
In Slough a couple of weeks ago, and it's like B&M, but like
we've got a couple here.
Yeah. Oh, what, have you been to the range as well?
There's one about, probably say about less than a 10-minute drive away from my house. Yeah.
Amazing. Well, I went to their garden, the garden centre, and it was gorgeous. I was so close to buying a new plant, but I was like, Sarah, like, look after your, let's do a clearing of the house, and then you can buy another plant. Because
you know what as well? Sorry, carry on.
No. That was literally it.
Okay. Like, one thing I've learned as well when buying plant, like, I've become that much of a snob now. Like, I can tell like how they were raised. It's like, you look at them sometimes, like, but you definitely reach out to me, like, if you want like tips and if you're looking at plants to buy, because sometimes you'll have plants, right, and they'll be growing in an environment where they've got constant lights on. They'll also have the right humidity setting, and they also have things that watch out for death plugs. So what death plugs are is what they call death plugs in the plant world. So it's like, you know, when you like have a seedling, they'll put it in like a pot, and in that pot it will be something that is quote unquote biodegradable, but it's not. Yeah. And it's like, actually it's like a mesh that stays around the roots. Yes. And it hinders its growth. So I've got like a fig tree, and I've also got an aglaonema, and I've also got a few other plants that I need to actually just go and like take out their death plugs. Yeah. Because they'll just be root bound, they'll rot and die.
No, thank you so much, because it's so funny. I've actually run into that problem with two plants, because like, you know, when you get it from like the supermarket or something, so they'll have it in like in a circle or whatever, and it's just like, I didn't ask for that.
And they'll put it inside the pot so you can't see it.
Exactly. And that's the thing. Like, I remember my mum got a plant for me. No, my mum was like, oh, can you look after this plant? And I was like, okay, let me repot it, because no, it was flowers. And you know, dainty flowers, like, they're going to need so much more care. Like, they're going to need so much more like gentleness when you approach them. My mum gave me these flowers to sort out. And I was like, oh, let me repot it. It had did you say a death plug?
Death plug, yeah.
Yeah, a death plug around it. And I took the death plug out to repot it into thing, and all the flowers died. Like, literally within a day, maybe even a couple hours. And it's just so annoying, because like, I think a lot of gardening, planting is like, learn by experience, learn by process, learn by your mistakes, you know? But then when you meet someone who's like a plant person like you, like, it just gives you more faith again, because if you saw the way that I like, another reason why I probably have so many fucking plants is because on YouTube I'll be searching everything to find out what happened to my plants, and now I've got all these personal ads about like buying plants.
Do you know what really got me into it as well? Yeah. Have you ever seen, like, I think it's black girls who garden, or black women with plants? Yeah. And there's also black men with plants, or there's black people with plants. Instagram pages. I'll send them to you.
Yes, please.
I've actually
you're going to be one of them.
I am going to be one of them. And like, there's some, you know what, there's some nice queer people on there as well. They'll hit you like, I'm talking to like 2 of them in Florida, but you know.
I love if I follow them, because I follow people like living their best lives in America that are gardeners, black gardeners. So that's lit.
It's such a nice thing to see. And especially like, when you just see black people just being so happy and joyful, and they've got like a massive bird of paradise plant in their Florida house. I'm just like, oh. There's one lady as well, you know Sydd's song, and it's just like, good day on my mind. Yeah, she's playing the harp, and she's got this massive fiddly fig plant, and the lighting in her house, and she's just rocking back and forth playing this massive harp.
That's gorgeous.
Just like, my heart, like,
that is ethereal.
Yeah.
No, thank you so much. I'm literally looking at my plants like with such admiration now. Like, I bought another pot I got peace lily for my birthday. And it's gorgeous, it's thriving, but it needs a serious repotting. So I need to, I'll do that actually today. I'll do that today before I go to bed. But yeah, no, thank you for that nomination. You've given me
You're very welcome.
green fingers back again. It was really comforting. Oh, no, lovely. I'm actually, for my nomination this week, I am, sorry, if it looks like I'm moving the page. Oh, it's okay? Yeah. Okay, cool. I'm basically reading something off Twitter because that's my nomination this week. So I've spoken about her before. Leona Nicole Black is an oracle, a tarot reader, like honestly, just a beautiful character. And she did this Twitter spread on the 2nd of May. And basically it talked about unspent rage, and she wanted to share her message that she received from her altar with the collective. And basically it says, here you go. Sometimes we're trying to do everything with our rage except go to war for the love and defense of ourselves. It's the restlessness of rage that refuses our apathy. It's the restlessness of rage that says healing is sometimes scalding heat applied to a wound. It's the restlessness of rage that won't let us make peace with liars, even when it's us abusing the truth by saying, I'm okay, or it doesn't matter. When we pray for change, our rage shows us how. Challenge the status quo and be destructive. Use the creative power of chaos. Azuli shows us conflict is necessary and we should be as loud and angry as we need about what hurts us. Agwe La Flambeau shows a boat riding on top of a lava without damage. That is, when we take action, we are not harmed or consumed by our anger. Instead, it clears our path. And like, she basically wrote a thread, and I had to read those specific tweets out because I think they were just so affirming to me. I think for a long time, I was in fear of expressing my rage. No, actually, let me not say that. There's many sides to me. There was the side which wanted to be the bigger, better person. There was the side to me that wanted to burn every single thing down. There was the side to me that didn't want to be the angry Black woman. There was the side of me that was just exhausted, from just speaking my truth all the time, or defending what was right all the time, or what I deemed to be right all the time. And I think especially when I went to uni, like, I saw a change in my behavior because I wasn't moving in a way that I used to. And for someone who is so self-assured and so expressive within their anger, to change to not be in anger, listening/reading Leona's words was so effective because it shows you how much expression and how much spirit is in your anger, how much anger is of use to you and as you are used to it. Like, I think there's so many people in the world, and especially like if we talk about how women as well are sort of undermined in society for being deemed as crazy if they express their anger, it's so layered. So having someone like Leona being able to be like, no, it creates a pathway is so beautiful. She had a reading fairly recently where she expressed similar things, and she said a shout out to Kelechi and a shout out to Amber, who is also known as the Quiet Revolution on Instagram and social media. And both people are spiritual teachers, as well as people comfortable cussing out anyone anyhow. And I think that's so beautiful because for so long we sat on our rage, we suppressed our rage, and if you suppress anything on life, it will implode or explode.
Absolutely.
And it's literally just a matter of when. So for my divine this week, I just wanted to shout out Leona's thread and shout out to anybody else who is learning how to lean into their anger, because it's so important.
And this is the thing, it's not like, the thing is, it's like anger is not, we associate it often with something being extremely negative. And I remember there was a saying, and it was like, I think anger is a secondary emotion. Like people say anger is a secondary emotion, but somebody basically wrote this poem. I don't know who it is. Like nobody sue me. But it was like, I sat with my anger for so long or something like that. And then I realized that I was dealing with grief.
Yes.
Or that the anger was, you know what I mean? And sometimes, even though anger is a secondary emotion, like I don't get angry. I realized and if I do get angry, it's like I really sit with that anger. I really work with that. I really put that anger to good use. I put rage as well to good use. That we're like, okay, I'm angry, I'm mad, but what are you going to do about it? Yeah. And it's not like, oh, I'm going to lean into primitive, like, thought process, like I'm going to hit somebody over the head, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. I'm just going to be like, okay, I'm mad about such thing that has been said, or I'm mad about such thing that has been done or not been done. What do I do? How do I work on myself? What can I do to make sure I'm not in this position again? And even though, like, I'm always somebody who's of the opinion that it's like, even thinking within itself, especially in this day and age where we're working ourselves to the bone, that is a privilege. Like thinking, it's being able to sit alone with your thoughts just for like 5 minutes, 10 minutes, an hour a day. It's a privilege. It really is. But yeah, that's just what I thought of that.
No, but it's so true. Have you ever seen so basically there's like this there's this photograph or like an animation of anger as an iceberg. It's used a lot in therapy or psychology. I'll link it when like this episode comes out. But basically, it's like an iceberg, and you only see the tip of the iceberg, which will say anger. But underneath the sea level will be hurt, grief, sadness, loneliness, all these different reasons to why someone is angry. So it just shows you how like it is a secondary emotion because there's always something beneath the surface. People will only see anger as the expression, and especially if you're a Black person, like people want to see the anger in your expression, so they just invalidate it, you know?
Yeah, and they treat it like a primary emotion as well, which is so audacious and dehumanizing.
Honestly, and it's wild because like you have people like Megan McKenna who literally made a TV personality out of her anger, and she wasn't the first. She's just the first person that's on top of my mind, and I just find it really interesting because let me take into the next segment. This is the next segment. It's called Decoding the Messes. Decoding the Messes is where we unpack mess, whether it is online or offline. And this week, we are going to be talking about rage. We're going to be talking about utilizing our anger, making strategy and making pathway within the chaos. And I want to start with like all the backlash that we've seen. Let me not say backlash. All the chaos, all the madness that we've seen on TLs over the past couple of weeks. So if you guys don't know what we are talking about, there has been some Twitter spaces which were made to... I don't even know where to start, actually. Where do I even start? So first...
They were incel groups.
Yeah, no, you talk the ting. You talk the ting.
Oh, shall I? Okay, cool. Like basically, these were incel groups of men, or when we refer to Black men, and we call them nigcels. No, white people can't say it.
True.
Somebody was debating whether no, you can't. Yeah, just so you know. So yeah, they're called nigcels, and they were basically just targeting Black women. And queer people. They targeted Kelechi, they targeted Ronnie.
Transphobic. They made transphobic comments as well.
Yeah, very, very disgusting remarks. And one of them, I know a lot of people have smoke for the main culprits. And I get that. That's absolutely valid, 100%. But for me, I wasn't expecting anything less. It's something that I've been targeted by many nigcels for my queer identity. I had all sorts of whatever. But again, I wasn't expecting any better. But they also wanted like people to be exterminated. They were going in on people's families, their private life. And it wasn't even like these people, they're just, it's not even like, oh, this person's this and that. No, these people are just existing. They're just there.
Literally.
They're just there, like.
And one thing that we should also mention as well is that Twitter has this function where you can tweet in a community, but these people who were tweeting in a community thought it was private. So they were just tweeting anyhow, anyway, any nonsense. And even though that is still horrible and bad that they were tweeting all these things, on the rules, it literally says anybody can see your tweets. So you're all dumb as well. You're all stupid. And we have to talk about the complacency within the other people that were added into the group, but just saw those comments fly.
Mm-hmm. Do you want to know what scared me though the most? Is that one person. Am I allowed to name people on here? Nixel.
I mean, you're allowed to say name Nixel, but you can't. I wouldn't say the actual names.
That's fine. There's one person in particular, and this part, we were shocked to find them there.
Yeah,
we were shocked to find them there because they always find themselves in black women's spaces and being like, this is wrong, and they're calling out these men and like, I'll work with children and then you were in there laughing at someone being wow. Wow. Like you were wow.
It's crazy.
Just wow. And I'm also a bit disappointed in like the Twitter community, I would say, for not giving him a good flogging because he deserves to be there with them. This was somebody who's infiltrating the spaces. And it's like me as a man, as a mass presenting person, I'm aware that my existence, right, my very existence equals the death of women. And I know it's a bit of a radical thing to say, but it's the truth. That is the way that men are in general. So the fact that you've gone into a space and it's like, I'm aware of my presence. Sometimes my presence, I've got a lot of like womanist, feminist friends. And especially at Clubhouse, we form like social rooms, social groups and those kind of things there. And I understand sometimes they're like, Sydd, I know you're a queer man and stuff, but it's women's own, and that's fine. But even to get to that point where there are some women who have been hurt so badly by men who don't see any kind of, they just know that men are trash. For them to even welcome you into that space because you're talking a fraction of sense and for people to be vulnerable around you and all the time you're kicking and laughing and
it's betrayal.
And it's like, it wasn't even that as well. It was like, there was even jokes about rape. I'm not going to repeat them. It's like, wow. Just wow. For you to be there and for also people, and you can't even turn around and be like, no, I don't know. I didn't. Listen, why were they comfortable enough to add you?
That part.
Why were they comfortable enough to add you? Why did you accept? Why did you knew what these people were about? Why did you do that? So I'm so sorry. Like those like kind of people, it just made me very, very sick to my stomach. It's really just reminding me of all those people back in the summer of 2020 that said they were white allies, and you found them like doing a madness, like burning a cross on their neighbor's lawn. But anyways,
no, but it's true. Like, like that was one of the first examples. So that was one of the first examples of Twitter spaces that required rage, righteous rage. The second one that I was of witness to was the one that was hosted by Kelechi, and it was the trashy Tim Westwood Twitter space. And it made me so frustrated because you saw people trying to do like, I don't even know how to explain it. It was more like I don't want to say that there was a reporter who's like, how do we know that this happened when this happened? And it was like, if you're in a Twitter space, you're able to speak and talk your things on stage, but the hashtag will be running with people doing extra commentary. And there was a reporter who was trying to disinvalidate Black women's anger during this time. And it's just like, read the fucking room. Like, stop trying to be contrarian and just be like, well,
I know who you're talking about. I think I know who you're talking about. Is it the individual who was like, how do we know that they were children or something like that? Or why did you get into the event? That individual is not just so that we're clear. I'm not like, that particular person. Can we say, because she's a public figure, I'm sure we can say her name.
She's a public figure.
Lynn May. No, just a very... Can I drag this person?
You can drag this person. I do say, though, I'm going to have to send you another Zoom link.
That's cool. You're going to get dragged because, listen, you're a biracial person, number one. Like, you do not have any single right you have no right to come into a space for Black women and think that you can talk to Black women. That may work with cis-het Black men because they're very dumb, but that's not the case now. I'm speaking from, like, again, my dad is also like biracial. Well, not biracial. He's of a mixed heritage, right? He could not go into the South Asian community and start speaking to them. Like, let's be very, very honest. Like, I understand that her mother is Pakistani. Go and speak to the Pakistani community with the greatest of respect. You couldn't do that. You keep going into spaces and saying, I'm a monoracial, like you're a monoracial Black woman. Stop doing that. Just stop it. Secondly, like, you're up here as some kind of victim support for any kind of man who's been accused of rape or abusing women. You're very, very fucking weird. Very, very weird individual. And no matter how hard she rides the coattails of Zizi Mills, no matter how hard she tries to go and be on BBC 3 documentaries, and you're going around with these Bluefoot conservatives thinking, you know what, I'm going to be the change that Black people need. It's not going to work. Nobody is listening to you. And if we really, 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 really want to go and get into it, you need to go and question your parents. Question your pet. Like, really, I really want you to go and sit down. And because the vibes that this individual gives me, right, the vibes that I'm getting, it tells me that you were birthed out of two parents that fetishized each other. Let's be 100% honest, right? Because you don't care about the humanity of Black people. And again, that's something you would learn if your mom saw a human in your dad. That's if I'm just being completely honest. No, she fetishized him for Black dick. He allowed it, as the cis-het Black men do, and that birthed you. So at the end of the day, go and work through your trauma, go and work through your issues, leave the Black community alone. You're not a spokesperson for Black people. There's many, many biracial spaces where you can speak. At the moment, it is biracial people who are the daughters of Black Caribbean men who have the highest rates of domestic abuse. And I really want, you could be a voice for them. Well, I don't think they want you to, but there are many places where your voice is needed. The Black community isn't one of them, with the greatest of respect.
Wow, that dragging. Hey, yeah. You came for my edges. You came gone. But the thing is, it's like, for so long, people have been in fear of calling out their oppressors or calling out people who are oppressing them, even though that might not be the only oppressor. And so long, we have been in fear of calling out our oppressors. But why is that when we know that rage is sacred? Why is that when we know that it clears pathways to determining what we value and what boundaries we'll have for the communities around us? And this is why I wanted you on this podcast, because I remember you were speaking for your Share Your Mind, Suck Your Mum nomination, and you literally said, where are all the white women for Child Q? And literally my spirit just went, whew, because it's so true. It's so direct. It's just so like, why is our rage dismissed, disinvalidated, ignored time and time and time and time again when it's righteous? It's completely righteous. And like, we Black people have been forced to quote unquote be the better person, whilst people, I don't know, quote unquote be the better person and give white or people of color the benefit of the doubt, but that same doubt is used to manipulate man.
Yeah, 100%. And the benefit of the doubt is never given to us. And it's like, no matter how you navigate the world, you're always going to be the villain. Like, you're always going to be and this is why I think, like, when I look at the first 3 bits of my natal chart, it kind of makes sense. Sometimes, like, this is the Gemini moon in me. Sometimes I don't want to be the bad person. Sometimes I want to see the world burn. Sometimes I want to fight with you in hell. But sometimes I'm actually just going to leave the best. If I really want to hurt you, if I really want to fight you, the best thing I can do is leave you alone and let you just spiral into your own demise. And I think the reason why I said that comment about, like, when it came to child Q, like, where are the white moms? It's like that. I wish I had more time to speak, because we always, this is probably a little bit of like a not politically conservative, just the term. So probably the Black conservative side of me is that
we just had a slight break, but Sydd, you're going to tell us about why you stood up and mentioned that comment about Shai Kuyu.
Oh yeah, like, I just found it. I mean, it's like we always get, I think in the past 5 years, Black people, monoracially Black people, like, we've realised that pretty much anyone can call themselves Black, and I'm very tired of being gaslit. I'm very tired of people who have got, I don't know, a biracial parent and then a white parent, and then will still call themselves Black and be the face of Blackness and be the face of those kind of things. It's like, okay, fine. If you are you're quote unquote socializing yourself as Black and calling yourself Black. Because how old are you, by the way, Sarah?
I'm 25.
Okay, cool. So you would have been a few years behind me in secondary school. So I can remember when mixed race kids and other non-Black kids were calling us Blick and calling us all of those kind of other things.
Literally.
And I'm sorry, but I find it very interesting that now, all of a sudden, you're calling yourselves now Black because it's cool to be Black, and we've reclaimed that. And I'm sorry, but if your children are Black and that's what you're, like, saying, and that's the stuff that you're going by, okay, where are you when it comes to protesting for your Black children? Where are you at? Or where are you when it comes to protesting for Black children in general? But because it's not something that you can benefit from, because it's not a bandwagon that people can jump on, because we're not centering Black men, or because, a lot of people, listen, Black lives doesn't matter to a lot of people. It's Black dick and it's the biracial children. I'm so sorry. I am so sorry. We saw the placards in the summer of 2020 where they were like, I love Black dick, so don't shoot, or all them foolishness.
Literally. And I was just like, seeing that at a protest, it's like, it's actually horrific. It's humiliating. Like, the Black community have so much versatility, and now they're in pain. Now they need your help. You're still using this opportunity to find man. Wow. Sad.
So I'm just saying, like, from then on, I just knew it's not Black lives that matter. It's Black dick, and you will not be here for a protest when it comes to Black children. You definitely will not be here when there's a Black women. And yeah, I'm not going to be too controversial on your podcast.
No, but I've appreciated your honesty, and I appreciated your directness, because like I said, it's righteous rage. And I think, like, okay, so I want to say two things. First off, Kelechi's after the response of those horrible and horrid comments that she received, all that harassment, she had a podcast the following week, the following Monday after. That was one of the best podcasts I've ever listened to in my entire life. It was so beautifully said. Like, she literally started the dragging with the Bible verse. Do you know what I mean? Like, she was letting these guys know that if you want to keep my name in your mouth, this is the response you're going to get. And it annoyed me, not Kelechi, but it annoyed me how, like, on this week's episode, or I think she even said it on an Instagram story, how people have commented on a 1-star review and been like, oh, wishing for people's downfall is not okay, etc., etc.
People did that.
Something like that. I think I saw it on her Instagram story. And it's like, babe, let me tell you why that's wrong. Number one, you guys are all doing it in private. You guys are all doing it in private. So when you've got someone who's confident to say it with their chest confidently in public, now you're all shook. Like, that's not fair. And the fact that she got bullied, but especially because she asked people to keep their names out of their mouth in 2019.
She's always said she's a private person, leave her alone.
Exactly. And in Big 22, you still thought you could drag her energy into it. And it's giving obsessed. It's giving, why are you so obsessed with me? Boy, I want to know. Literally, because it's like, it's terrifying how, like, in that example, Black men were encouraged to develop a space. They literally had their right to make a safe space where they could talk about anything they want, but they still found time to ridicule and humiliate Black women.
This is a thing. Sorry, I know you go.
No, don't. Honestly, please.
Oh, I thought you finished. Like, whenever spaces are held on Clubhouse or on Twitter Spaces and they're centering either women or queer people, you always get Black men that will come up, cishet Black men specifically, that will come up and be like, oh, but this isn't important because Black men are being shot at this rate and Black men are being homeless and Black men are in prison. Okay, well then create the spaces for them. Mm-hmm. But the spaces that you are creating is to go and chat other people. Is to go and whisper the extermination of other people. And I don't understand. None of this is saving your life. None of this is stopping your mum's council flat from being gentrified. None of it is actually benefiting you. But here you are talking up the things. It doesn't make any sense. So when the next time, and this is why I can't, like, first time I saw somebody get dragged for bringing up men's mental health, I felt bad for him. But now I get it. Now I get it. Like, after being in these Clubhouse streets, I'm a Clubhouse veteran. Like, yeah,
it's weird, isn't it? Because it's like that's the thing. I think for so long we didn't want to move as mad as other people, right? But the people who are moving the maddest and the baddest have no shame, and they're so reckless that you need to meet them with the same energy. And it's weird because I am conscious of, like, not being ableist with my perception of people, because I think sometimes, well, actually, let me use Kelechi as an example. Like, even in that dragging, look how much compassion she had for that person.
I agree, and I think she dragged him good, but she went easy on him. That's what you have to realize. Went easy on him.
Yeah, and I think, but that's the thing. I think as a spiritual, like, aware person, I mean, we all are spiritually aware, but, like, because she's been able to, like, really craft her gift over time, she's able to see the dualities and the timelines that are coming for this person and the ones that are coming for her. So she realizes that it's not, obviously it's deep because it's hurtful and he needs to be dragged to the bottom of the pits, but she also realizes what is for her is going to be so much louder and so much celebrated for her that she doesn't, it's like she can see it as, she can see him for the shit that he is. Does that make sense? But
you know what? Sorry, go for it.
I was looking at my notes and I was just understanding this idea of, like, utilizing your righteous rage and, like, just talking about how, like, we need to call out our expressors because we need to call out our oppressors because they will just carry on comfortably if you do not. And as soon as you tell someone about themselves, they know when to leave you alone, you know? And I'm just tired of people dismissing the fact that because someone moves mad and they can claim mental health, that they can also ignore the pain that they've caused. Mental health will contribute to how someone processes things, but that doesn't influence the impact of the pain that they're causing me. And why should I undermine my own pain, my own heart space, just because of what you've done to me? You know, like, this is one example. Like, I had this, I knew this person, right? And they would have like tantrums where they scream at everyone. Everyone says the most horrible things, right? And she was going through it, and mental health did influence. So she openly expressed it. She apologized. Okay, we're cool. First time it happened. Second time it happened. Third time it happened. Fourth time it happened. Okay, right. So in reality, it should have never got to a third, in reality. But exactly. But this is the thing, because of quote unquote mental health, we are able to dismiss our own comfort and our own peace because we want to compensate for the discomfort that the other person who was screaming had. And this is a pattern that happens in so many problematic relationship dynamics, whether it's romantic or friendship or work. And I'm not entertaining being that pattern anymore. I'm solving it. I'm breaking through it. I either leave you at your bullshit or tell you about yourself so you can come with a different energy. And I think that's one thing that I want to learn in this space, and learn about talking to people like you, talking to people like Kelechi, talking to people like Leona, because the only way is through. And I'll be damned if I'm going to be consumed by my frustration, by my rage, and it not be of use to me. Like, what? So I'm going to feel uncomfortable because someone decided to move mad?
Nah.
No.
Nah.
Nada. No.
Do you know what? Yeah, it's very interesting you said that about mental health, and that obviously I think anybody who like who has any mental health conditions, like, you deserve the care, the treatment, the space to be able to heal and also be accepted and be valid. I will always say that. However, I draw the line at abusive behavior.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I understand there are things like schizophrenia. I understand there are things like bipolar, psychosis, narcissistic disorders. I get it. I absolutely get it. And I remember there was this one time, I was like 21 at the time. Yeah, I was probably like 21. And I used to work in a supermarket.
Mm-hmm.
And quite, one of the big four.
Mm-hmm.
Horrible woman. Horrible white woman. And she was just a bully. An absolute bully. Like, a horrible woman. And I'll never forget the time. What happened? My manager, like, she wasn't even a manager. She was the same level as me. Mm-hmm. But because she bullied so many people like folded and caved into her and stuff. But I was just really like, whatever, I'm doing what I'm going to do.
Yeah,
I just
come here for work.
I just did my best to ignore her. And then one time she got physical, and I was just like, what the hell? And then I was like, not putting up with that. So I just went to, like, something manager must have asked, oh, I don't need you here today. Can you go there? So I went over there. She goes, what are you doing? I was like, nah, I've been told to go over there. And then she starts knocking stuff over and going mad on the shop floor. So I went and obviously the first thing I did, I put in a complaint. I was like, nah, not putting up with it. And I was like, oh, but she's got mental health disorder. You know what the first thing I turned around and said? What about my mental health?
Yeah, exactly.
That's it. And that's always, I'm so sorry. Like, same thing on Clubhouse, there was this very twisted individual, and I've made about 2 rooms dragging him, and they trended on Clubhouse and Twitter. I've dragged the life out of this man. And they were like, oh my God, he's mental. I was like, what about my mental health? It's the thing, when people do that, like, mental health is not an excuse for you to put up with abuse. It's not.
Exactly
This is
that.
not. Yeah. I'm not a full-time carer. I don't work as a mental health worker. I am not. I'm not one of the NHS members of staff you were clapping for. It's not me. It isn't me. I literally log into my 9 to 5. I do what I'm doing, and I go about my business. If there are people, and I get it, there are people who deal with things, I'll give you a pass. I will give you a reasonable pass. But put up with abuse at your expense?
Exactly.
Me? No. I'm sorry. Shut that shit down immediately. And
You
I'm
have
sorry.
to.
No, these are the same people that will cry mental health. Have you seen a therapist? No. Okay. You cry mental health, but are you doing things to better your environment? No. Okay. You say like, and I'm not trying to
dismiss.
Again, that's not what I'm not dismissing anybody's mental health. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. You cannot use that as an excuse to abuse people, to cause people harm. You can't do that. And the thing is, there are some people who will put up with it, who will be more graceful and be more understanding. That is fine. I'm not against that. Do what you got to do. But there are some people, right? I have my own mental health to consider. I have my own well-being to consider. I have my own family to consider. And therefore, my threshold will be like, no. And we don't, like, and this is just like me again, we don't have any right. We don't have any right to police the way that people respond to disrespect, to trauma, to pain, to being attacked. We don't, because when we do that, we then side with an abuser, and we also then perpetuate abuse towards that person. It's like somebody punching you in the arm, Sarah, and I say, Sarah, don't scream and shout. Don't tell anyone it hurts. Don't react, and don't walk away. I'm abusing you, and I'm sorry. That's what it is.
Exactly.
That's what it is. So drag them. Do what you need to do. She went wrong. She was actually, if you think about it, she protected you for a very long time, because people wanted to know where you were the traditional way.
Exactly. And we found out.
And she was protecting you. She actually said, you know what? Keep my name out your mouth. I will protect you. That's what I will do. I'll protect you. And you couldn't even do that. So, and this is another thing with the beauty of rage. Sometimes it's not what you're doing when you're in rage. It's sometimes what you're not doing. And what she decided to do is, I'm not going to protect you.
Oh my God, that was beautiful. I'm going to make that exact part a clip. I don't know how, but I'm going to learn about my editing things, because that part is wordly. Like, what? No, you're so right. And I think, like, I definitely know what I want to ask Spirit for the tarot question now after you said that, because there is so much power and strength in our rage. We just need to express it. And one thing that I've also learned through rage and through anger, whether it is indirect or direct or whatever over the years, is that it needs to be expressed as soon as it can. No therapy, no right. I mean, I'm talking about this as a personal opinion, listeners. So do as you please with what I say. Like, even with any of my tarot readings, like, take the meat and leave the bones. But no writing prompts, no meditations, no therapy, no anything has not been as satisfying as telling someone about themselves in that current moment, expressing that hurt and expressing that anger throughout that rage in that moment. Maybe sometimes people give it a couple of days so they can, like, express themselves in a way that they feel more comfortable in, but expressing people when the fire is still hot, it has this purifying effect to release said fire, and it doesn't consume you. Because, like, in the times where I haven't expressed myself as much as I've wanted to, it's just built up. And then it's one thing that builds up, and then another thing that builds up, and another thing that builds up, and then you just explode. And that's when you can sort of misdirect your anger, because you just want it to release, but actually you're upset about 8 things, but now it's come to either one person or one situation or one expression. So I think I'm so happy that I titled this. I know what I'm titling this podcast, and it's like, I miss the rage, because, like, I miss how honest it can allow us to be. I miss how expressive and how affirmed it can leave us, because like two things can be true at the same time. Like you can be in rage and feel confident. You can be in rage and feel joy at the same time. You can be in rage and feel grounded at the same time. And I think that's why I wanted to have you on this podcast, because I want to bridge the conversation of rage, of anger, and how can we use our righteous anger, especially as Black people, to move forward, because we can't do what was going on before, because that just won't run. Like, I'm tired. I'm tired.
I hear that. That's a whole word. I hear that, and it's like, what do we do with it all? Like, what do you expect me to do? Like this, and it's I am. I'm at the point now where it's like, again, there's so many things that we can do with our rage, and I don't know if you've seen recently. I know you're not on social media, but the latest.
Yeah. So you know what? Let's talk about it. Can you tell us a brief synopsis of the story that's emerged? Right.
So allegedly, it's been reported that Kevin Samuels has died of a heart attack.
Oh, this isn't the news I was going to talk about, but carry on.
Oh, was it not?
Yeah, I've got another news.
I thought we were just aligned. Like, I thought I was going to chop something.
I mean, technically,
together.
To be fair, I had heard of that and I did know of it, but I was talking about some news about two Black school children.
Yeah. Okay. Should I go with this one because it's mainly with the rage?
Let's talk about Kevin. Oh my God! Isn't that a film?
Oh yeah.
Sorry.
You're funny. No, apparently it's not been confirmed by his family or anything. However, the internet is divided. A lot of people are crying. They're looking for a leader now. Kevin will be proud of some of you Nick cells. He'll be looking up at you from hell, seeing how well you're doing, and all the foolishness. He's become one of your ancestors. He's become someone's ancestor.
Yeah, I saw that tweet. It's like, at least you guys got an ancestor to pray to. I was like, you guys are making me laugh today. Stop.
Yeah, but the whole ancestor thing. When some people be like, oh my God, I'm going to pray to the ancestors. Listen, be careful which ancestors you're praying to. Let this be a lesson, because some of your ancestors sold other people. Some of your ancestors told on others who were trying to escape to Massa. Some of the ancestors will literally manifest you staying in your job at Tesco. I'm not even being horrible. I'm like, not shout out to the Tesco workers.
Do you know what's so funny? There's going to be someone listening to this podcast who works at Tesco is going to be like, shit.
You know what I mean? There were some that will manifest the fact that you will not get to Super Bowl, whatever it is. Just be careful in it. But the internet's quite divided, because some people are like, okay, he's dead, and what? Some people are like, okay, I'm glad he's dead. Some people are like, oh my God, this is so bad. How can you say this? But this is the thing. This is what rage looks like. Some people have kept it inside and kept it inside and kept it inside. And now that this man is dead, they've used that rage from the disrespect and the very, very mad things this person has done. Like, this person has basically said, I just want to give a quick trigger warning. Yeah, he's basically said things like, if your child comes to you and alleges that, there's been sexual assault from a partner, you don't believe your child. What? It's
terrifying.
I'm so sorry. And that it's okay to hit a woman. If there's nothing wrong. This person said you can hit a woman, and this is why you must do it. Again, there are people who have had sweet and loving, caring partners and listened to Kevin Samuels, and it's turned their relationship upside down.
Exactly.
It's put people in danger. It's changed people's, and these people have had families, people have had kids together, all of that sort of stuff. And if that person wants to go and turn around and say, listen, don't you dare ask for my sympathy, this person's dead. Don't you dare. if that person's eloquently said, I do not care, I don't have a care politic towards this is what the rage can look like. So now we're seeing the rage that so many people have had from Black women specifically, queer people. I don't talk about this, man. I don't. And again, Lin May, like, I'm so sorry, you shared this man a lot. Somebody check and see if she's okay, because like again, I don't think he's gonna call you high value. Do you know her name is Keisha? Lakeisha.
Fuck off. Fuck off.
Did anyone know that? Yeah, her name is Keisha. It's spelled with a Q. And this is the thing: she's 35 years old. No man has picked you yet. Wow, I'm flabbergasted. Like, you know. I really thought she used her I really thought she'd been picked by now, but she's 35 years old. I wonder what Kevin Samuels will say about you, but anyway.
No, but do you know what? It's hilarious you said that, because so many of these, like, a lot of women who also, like, affirm the Kevin Samuels rhetoric are also not getting picked. So what is actually benefiting you to spew this vitriol around and share it and project those standards onto people that are just living their lives? But then it always comes down to me. Sorry, I always think, like, you must not be happy or self-assured, because people who are truly happy don't give a fuck. They don't care.
But it's the audacity of her, though, because she's always like liking and loving these clips of where it's Black women being degraded. And again, you're not a Black woman. So again, I don't really get why you're in that space. And I think I don't understand, like, why have you not found a colorist to love you yet? I don't understand.
I'm crying. I'm actually I'm screaming. Why haven't you found a colorist to love you?
Why have you not found a colorist to love your light skin? After she was saying no darkies and stuff, and her old stuff have come up and she's calling Black people darkies. Why have you not found a Black man like your dad, who again obviously doesn't like Black women? Why have you not found one yet? Like, you're still 35 and single. Stop it. But again, I'm not trying to like subscribe to Patreon. Sorry, I'm not trying to like subscribe to the whole patriarchy thing. But I'm saying, if since you want to play by the rules, I just want to know, love, why they're not working for you. That's
exactly
all.
Like, that.
I'm not trying to say, you know, I'm probably going to be single at 35 as well, the rate I'm going. But you know, I'm not subscribing to the bullshit she is.
No, I'm not subscribing to it. It's actually bullshit. So, as we close up Decoding the Messes, what are your thoughts on righteous rage?
So my thought on righteous rage, I think the clue's in the word. Like, we're all entitled to rage, and I think that as a Black person, they're going to call you angry anyway, so do what you want. And I think the society that we live in, the world that we are in, we don't know what justice, fairness, morals. It's not really been taught to us. These are things that you hear in the fairy tales. These are things that, like, people say so that you don't
stay in line.
Yes, you stay in line, but I'm sorry, the world is not fair. And if you want to have, if you want to be entitled to that rage, you are entitled to that rage. If you want to utilize that rage however you want, that's up to you. It is okay to want to see the world burn. It's okay. I'm not saying it in a just to say that some people should go out there and do their fuckeries. But I'm sorry, there are people literally like, we're told from a young age on these Disney movies that there's always a happy ever after. No, there's a lot of people not seeing happy ever afters. There's a lot of people at their homes right now. So fuck the happy ever afters. If you want to be angry, if you want to be enraged, if there's something that you do want to do or don't want to do, as long as it serves you, go and do it. And I'm not saying this, like, again, please don't think I'm inciting any violence. I'm not saying
no, you're not at all.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying, like, sometimes walk away from that job. Walk away. Like, think, actually, I'm not going to participate in this. Actually, I'm going to voice my opinion. Actually, I can't afford to have a care politics. This is so many ways in which rage can work. I think for me, when I've been enraged or when I'm annoyed or when I channel anywhere into that, I think I find that's when my integrity is the truest, and that's when it's the most tested. So that's just what I wanted to say for...
Amen. That was a beautiful closing. Honestly, no, that was amazing. And I think what you're saying is going to reaffirm by spirit, because even now, like, I'm getting all these downloads from as you're speaking, and I was just like, oh, God, spirit's going testing to me. But no, that was such a beautiful way to close Decoding the Messes. That means we are in Tarot Talks, and that's where I give a tarot reading for the collective. I just wanted advice from not even advice from spirit. I just wanted like affirmation from spirit on how we can move with our righteous rage. But if spirit has any advice, let us know that too. So is it okay if you breathe in and out for me?
Yeah.
Thank you. And tell me when to stop, okay?
Stop.
Okay. Oh. Okay. Right. You can't make this fucking shit up. Okay, spirit. Is there anything, any advice, any other energy that you want to let us know of?
I'll take that as a yes.
Yes. Is that it? Yeah. Okay. I thought I was going to take 2 cards. They were like, no. Okay, sick. And then spirit, can I have... Oh, actually, no. Sydd, please, can I have a number between 1 to 3?
3.
Okay. 1, 2, 3. Ooh. And a whoop, whoop. Okay. Actually, wait, no, let me put out one more card just for confirmation. Spirit's like, oh, do you need it, sir? Do you need it? I'm like, yeah. Okay.
I wish I could read tarot. I think I'll be a badass tarot reader.
I think so too. Okay.
I am quite spiritual. Like I've got a very good I'm very good at reading people's spiritual energy. Like I know things, and it's like if like let's say I've met you, like, you know, we've met and bonded in person. Yeah. It's like whenever there's a friend who's like feeling low, or I just know, and I'm like, dude, what's up?
So do you know what that's called?
What?
It's called clair empathy. So clair empathy is where you can recognize the emotional experiences of the emotions of others, emotions of others, whether they're like near you or anywhere around the world. So like, you know, when sometimes you could get a feeling of like, oh, that person's really sad, let me call them. That's clair empathy. And like clair empathy is one of is really encouraged. Sorry, clair empathy is really like, I guess probably one of the more accepted clairs because of people's relationships with like birthing people. So like, let's say like my mom can, like, I could be here, I could be in the UK, I could be in Africa, I could be anywhere, right? She birthed me. So she can tell, she can feel when my energy's off. And that's true to a lot of people that have either birthed others or been the primary caregiver of others, you know? And I just find it really interesting because even the way you're talking, saying you can read spiritual energy, is claircognizant as well. So claircognizant is where you just know things and you speak them. Like, and I think one of my roles as a way shower is that I'm literally showing people my way, but when they can understand that it's a perspective of what to do things, they can understand what their way is. So like earlier when I was telling you about my friend who is also a Gemini moon, Sagittarius rising, she is also cognizant, and it's something that she's really leaning to in her gift. Like recently I had Instagram live, and my friend, another friend on the live was like, oh, where should I go on holiday? And she was just like, oh, Barcelona. And at first she couldn't go to Barcelona a couple months back just because of, you know, COVID restrictions, regulations, all that wahala. And now Barcelona is like a green light from our ancestors. So it just shows you the more that you lean into your gifts and the more you lean into what is true to you, the more you can move forward. And that's something for all of us within the collective. Doesn't matter if they've used cards or have never read a book. I mean, they are spiritual by nature because they have a spirit. Like they have so much wisdom within them, whether it's from their parents, their grandparents, their environment, their intuition, their fear, all of the conditioning that has influenced and also been disregarded in the evolution that is life, you know? So like, I find it, even the more that I'm public with my gift and the more the public that I share conversations with people, the more they can also see it in their own life. And I just love that because like, it's literally the way shower. Like I'm just showing people what I'm doing and then it triggers a conversation like this. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
No, I fucking love it. Look, I'll get back to the tarot reading though.
We have to do this again. But yeah, well, if you want me to, but yeah, I'd love to do this again.
100. But let me get back into tarot reading and I'll speak on those things later. Basically, the first two cards we got was the Seven of Cups and the High Priestess, right? And I'm using the Disney villains. Let me see if I can take my background off for a second. Oh, can you see that? No, you can't. I do this every time. So do you see this?
Yeah.
It's Disney villains. So all the villains characters, and I'm using it because I want to talk about shadowy energy. And I just love the fact that it's Disney villains because it's like a soft and a comforting approach to shadow conversations, you know? And what did I ask Spirit? How do I utilize my rage? How do I work with my rage, you know? And they said the Seven of Cups and the High Priestess. And this is like knowing your secrets and knowing when to act. Because the Seven of and knowing what is of value to your action. So we see Seven of Cups. Seven of Cups are a number that can communicate challenge, obstacles, moving over something, right? Cups are a vessel which contain a body of water or whatever juice you want to put in. So maybe your water is your clarity, your options, your abundance, your creativity that's available to you. Maybe it is having a cute drink with your friends. Oh, look, you know what? For the tarot reading, I'm just going to take it off because I do this every bloody time.
That's fine.
So you see all these sort of tentacles that are holding all these cups. They are literally all holding the options and opportunities of value to you. So people could get this card when they're making a decision in their life, whether it is chasing the bag, finding uncertainty, moving to a different environment. It's all talking to what are opticals, not obstacles. It's like what is true and what is illusion and what is going to determine you to go through that. And this is like moving through life. It's understanding what energy is available to you and what is your heart most drawn to. It's like timeline jumping and seeing which part of you is the direction of your decision. Is it your past you trying to move forward? Is it your heart space that's trying to move forward? Or is it like society's demands moving you forward? You're always moving, but it's literally what direction are you taking to? And each cup has a different character, has a different vessel, and that's a different facet to your identity. But one thing I do say is I personally think move towards your heart, because when you make decisions with your heart space, you can never feel left out. Or you can, maybe you just feel it rarely. Because when you move with your heart space, then you take in consideration what your true desire is, and that you can allow yourself to deal with whatever the consequences or whatever life is throwing at you afterwards, because you moved within your heart. And the High Priestess comes back to talk about your collective subconscious. It's like having the divination, the mystical realm, the psychology, the dream space, the secrets guiding your decision. And like, I love this card because she's Maleficent, who's the character who was the op to Sleeping Beauty. And I love that movie because the High Priestess is so aware, they're so intelligent, but the world has made them ugly. Like, they were out there living their best fae life, doing the fae things, and then some horrible human came up, tried to take off their wings, and now they've used their anger and rage to isolate themselves in their world and cause chaos on Sleeping Beauty and those people. Those people deserved it, because at the end of the day, they came, one of them took advantage of her and stole her wings and then started attacking like the fairy people. And it's like, with this rage comes the power of your I want to say certainty, but that's not the word. There's something about expressing yourself and translating information in this power that is so true to you. It's like, you know how you were talking about integrity earlier,
yeah.
And it's like understanding how there's a part of me that thinks it's really esoteric. So I'm going to move on to the next card and I'm going to come back.
Okay.
Because the next card we got was the Knight of Cups. The Knight of Cups, because I asked for advice from Spirit and I got the Knight of Cups, and that is literally following your heart. It's like you're on this change, this journey, moving through these different worlds, and you're literally holding your cup open to see what the world has to offer you. But let's say if you've been hurt in the process, you're going to move your hand. This Knight of Cups is asking you to be brave with your hand. It's asking you to move with those emotions and move with the new beginnings that surrounding you, because the options available to you are never ending. Like all of this, sorry, it's very bright, so let me move this a tiny bit. All of this is continuous. All of this is open. The only person that you really see is this character on their horse. And even the horse is like new beginnings, you know? It's having that like neutrality of being grounded with a creature, being grounded with the earth whilst you move through these transitional periods. And like, so even, okay, right. I'm back. So High Priestess paired with the Seven of Cups with Righteous Rage is asking you to determine what is secret to you. So sometimes we move from a place where we hold all of our secrets in and we can reinstate shame in those secrets. So therefore we undermine the true power that we have in expressing ourselves. But now the Seven of Cups has come out to be like, you have so many facets to your character that you need to move with assertion because of the opportunities that will come towards you when you express yourself. I think the High Priestess as well is sort of shunning away from the world and shunning away from society because of the rage that has been in like projected onto you, or the rage that you've been made to feel but dismissed to have. And like the High Priestess is like, no, come out in the world. Express that, show your love. The Knight of Cups is like move within it, like move along it. And earlier when I asked for cards to come out, I actually used Kalechi's Spiritual Seasoning for the Soul deck, which is an oracle deck that you can't get anymore. The first card I got was the answer resides in your daily habits. And I got confused at first because I was like, look, obviously Righteous Rage is necessary, but what do you mean daily habits? I got Temperance card, and the Temperance card is literally strengthening your spiritual to physical connection. It's having everything in balance and like moderation, and not believing that there's something around you that moves you through what you're going through. It's having one foot in the earth and one foot in the water. So it's this sort of like bird's eye perspective that can remind you that you are a part of the world, but you're not the only thing in it. And I think the daily habits can mean that, and I think I'm kind of guilty of this as well. So maybe this is a personal drag, but I know that sometimes I get caught up in like old arguments, old ways of thinking, old frustrations of people that I should have told better. But the Temperance is saying to you, like, look, you did what you did then because of what you knew then. And now with the Temperance, you can learn how to release that frustration back into the soil and share the intuition of the skills that you've led on the way as you move to your sunnier days. And at the bottom of the deck was the Strength card. And this is literally getting comfortable with your shadow, like getting comfortable with the lion. Like the lion deserves to roar, but if the lion doesn't like move on its instincts, it's going to feel shunned. It's going to feel ashamed, and then it's going to become an even like louder roar, you know? So I think with this lion archetype and the strength archetype, it's asking you to be compassionate with yourself in the times where you haven't advocated for your righteous rage, because you're a full-blown being. Like, you deserve to grow. You deserve to grow as much as the other people you give grace to. And I think that's also reaffirmed by our other oracle messages. The first one was like, forgive yourself first. And the second one was breathe in the blessings, breathe out the stresses. So yeah, I think that's the tarot reading. I think Spirit literally says, be compassionate with your expression because there's so much to you. Woo, God, that was a reading. Honestly. Like, I was gonna get the book out. No, let me get the book out. Fuck it. We're here. We love collection. Because that's the thing. Like, I was like, do I even add any more to that? But 41, breathe in all the blessings, breathe out all the stresses. Breathe as a way to remain present, breathe as a way to release all that keeps you contracted, breathe as a celebration of life. 26, forgive yourself first. You are not a bad person. Even if you made choices from a place of misremembering your divinity, show yourself compassion and forgive yourself for everything. Okay. And then 25, the answer to our prayers reside in our daily habits. Your prayers haven't gone unheard. In fact, the things you desire are already in existence. 7 of Cups again. That timeline shift of energy. Have you made space for your blessings? Is it to the day-to-day things you do that decide when your blessings will have permission to come in? Wow.
Would that not tie into, I was going to say, would that tie into the Knight of Cups with being leading with your...
Yes.
Yes.
No, you're so right. I'm just, oh my goodness, now my head's missing. But but no, you're right. You're so right. It's tied into, I think this is such a beautiful card pull because it's literally showed you that your rage is a reflection of your divine divinity. So use it. Like, it's not any less of an emotion as sadness or... like it's just as valuable to you. So when will you recognize its value? 7 of Cups again, Knight of Cups, all Cups energy. It's literally like emotions, intuition, strengthening the spiritual and physical, and being compassionate. That's what Spirit wants you to do. Wow. That was a sermon. I was like, whoa. Oh, sorry. I'm just reducing this light because I can find myself getting... Oh, it wasn't even that light. I thought it was... No. Okay, let me leave it on this one. Amazing. That takes us to our last segment. And the last segment is the direct message. The direct message is where we leave listeners with a take-home message. What would you like to leave listeners with this message this week, listener?
Just since we've been talking about rage and everything like that, I think with everything that is going on now, we're seeing, governments not being challenged. We're seeing people do a madness. We're seeing people being gaslit. I think one of the precious things that we have that we're always in control of is integrity. And I think that as part of channeling the rage, be true to your integrity. Be so true to your integrity. And one thing that I've learned from that and that I can take from integrity is that everything that is meant to be yours will be yours. You will attract to the right people. You will move away certain people. You will everything will fall into place. Like,
amen.
I'll give you an example. Like, for example, we're like, even if you look at a job, for example, somebody might ask you, oh, is everything okay at work? You're like, oh yeah, everything's fine. But really, you're short-staffed. You've not got the tools you need to do your job. You've not got, all of those kind of things. You saying that is okay when that's not how you feel. How will you treat your integrity? And it's not, don't let integrity be what other people tell you it is. Do you know what I mean? It's I'm telling you to be true to your integrity. Sometimes people will tell me, Sid, you love pasta, you love mess, you love... Yeah, okay, yeah. So what? I've done it because I'm being messy. I've done it because I love pasta.
I'm guilty. Look at me.
Exactly. I love pasta. Sometimes, like, I want to call something out because I can hear this is just bullshit. And you know what? Part of me wants to be true to that integrity, and don't let once you're true to your integrity, nobody can beat you up. Nobody can say to you, you know what? You're this because of... Whoa. Just a second. I've already admitted I was this person. Where do we go from here? So if there's anything that you need to take home, be true to your integrity, say how you feel, own your interactions, own who you are, believe in who you are, love yourself for it, and just be true to your integrity. Please.
Amen. No, that was a beautiful direct message. Thank you. I want to leave listeners with the fact that, just the awareness and the affirmation that your rage is fucking sacred. Like, your rage is power. Sorry, I keep on going back and forth with this thing. It's killing me. But your intuition is linked to your rage. Your rage is linked to your boundaries. Your rage is also linked to your compassion. And once you cater and nurture that space for it, it also allows you to feel confident and feel empowered and feel like self-assured. And I pray and wish that for every listener that I have of DM Talks. Like, gone are the days of self-neglect from where we would ignore our rage or suppress it. Like, we bring it forward, so we create the pathways of abundance that's available to us. And I've also got some homework for you guys. I guess. Okay. Have you watched Turning Red?
No.
I'd recommend everyone to go watch Turning Red.
It's on Netflix.
I don't think it's on Netflix. It's on Disney Plus.
I've got Disney Plus. Yeah, I've got it.
It's on Disney Plus, because that movie was a beautiful example of strength. It was a beautiful example of fire and rage. But Disney, they're going to keep it Disney. Like, it's not going to be triggering. I mean, actually, no. There's some parts. I think if you're from the same community as the characters in Turning Red are, there's going to be similarities that make it really emotional for you. Like, even when I watched Encanto with my community, like, half of us were crying because we've all experienced like relatives who've moved in similar ways. And like, one thing that I say about Turning Red is that it's a very delicate and soft expression of rage, compassion, community. So yeah, guys, go watch it. It's sick. No, I'm gonna... Pardon, sorry?
No, I'm literally just typing that up now, Turning Red.
No, do it, honestly, it's really good. I'm hopefully, this is an exclusive, I guess, because I don't know if it will be out when this is released, but I'm decided to do a little series of the major arcana in media, because my spirit team let me know so much information through movies, programs, all that good stuff. So I'm hoping to make my medium public so that I can showcase these interpretations and depictions that I found in spirituality, but also in TV. Because it's accessible, and it's entertaining, and I love shows.
That's amazing.
Honestly, I'm really excited.
I'm going to look out for that. I'm literally like, I'm getting into yours. I've also been listening to Joy's Wells podcast, because I met you and Joy.
How great is Joy?
You know what? Like, listening to her podcast, like, I listen to podcasts mainly because I like, when I was in lockdown, I didn't like feeling alone and those kind of things. I like to listen to podcasts where there's intelligent conversation going on. Yeah. And also, I don't like to feel alone. Yeah. And like, obviously, your like Kelechi's one was just intelligent conversation, and then just hysterics. Your one, intelligent conversation. Also, just seeing people of my age group, and it just gives me hope. But Joy's one, it's like, it's just that warm, fuzzy feeling where you just don't feel alone. Love that. I'm on our latest episode. I've been on there as well.
Mate, I'm going to have to listen to that, because I found Joy, because Joy has quite short episodes. Well, when I was listening to Joy, she had quite short episodes. Great for when I was I don't know why, but I hated cutting vegetables. I don't know why. Like it's something that I'm getting over. But I would always, when I used to live in Manchester, I always used to listen to Joy's World whilst I was doing my meal prep and stuff like that. And I just found Joy so funny. But I didn't even find them on I either they either got mentioned on like my Spotify list, or she got maybe a pop-up on Instagram, but I don't think so, just because I didn't know. But honestly, I love
yeah. So carry on.
No, I was just saying I think she's really funny. And yeah, I just really, really like her character. I like how honest she is as well. I haven't even, like, I know she's got an episode out with Kelechi. I haven't even listened to that yet. I'm still like way in the low. I like
to go in order.
Same. But that takes us to the end of our podcast. And I am so grateful for having you on. We have had such... Honestly, like, we've had such an insightful, great conversation. Like, there's just so much to it. And no, honestly, where can listeners find you? Like, can you let us know of your socials?
So at the moment, my Instagram is Sydd the Aquarius. That's SYDD the Aquarius. And then on Twitter, I am Aquarius Sydd, but I might just change it to my Instagram handle. I'm not sure, but you know, you'll find me. I'll be here in these Twitter streets.
Yeah. Well, I'll put this in the show notes anyway, so I'll just double check with you by the time when it releases. But honestly, you've been an absolute pleasure, and I'm so grateful for this discussion. I've been your host, Sarah DM, aka DM.Seerah. You can join our spiritual community Discord chat. Link will be in the show notes. The Patreon will be in the show notes. Website, if you want to book a reading, will be in the show notes. I think the more that I do this, the more clearer and concise it's being. So I encourage and implore all of you guys to get a reading with me, because you just heard that fire. You heard that absolute fire that just went down, the co-creation with spirit. But for this week, I'm going to have to love you and leave you, and I shall see you later. Bye now. Bye.
Bye, everyone. Bye.
Amazing.